Ackerman with Keller Williams RiverTown. This is our Red Chair interview today.
Hi, I'm Bill Cole with State Farm Insurance in East Grand Rapids on Wealthy Street.
Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, I have a few questions for you. It's spring, flooding time. Let's talk about floods. Let's talk about flood insurance. I know everybody has a ton of questions about it. I think there's a lot of different things in policies.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with, does my homeowner's insurance cover flooding?
You know, it doesn't, and it is an important time right now because of what happened last year in this area. But it's a misconception. Your homeowner's insurance does not cover for flooding. It covers for water damage that happens inside the house and water that comes from inside the house. But anything from over the foundation or through the foundation is considered flood, and under your normal homeowner's policy is not covered.
So some people would think that that's just the river flooding, a creek flooding, but that could also be a water main break?
Yeah, true thing. You don't just have to live in a flood area with a river or a stream or anything going through it. It's also water main, snow melt, heavy rainfall that can cause flooding as well. The drainage systems in some areas are older, get clogged up. That can cause flooding in streets too.
So something you would never know just looking at a home when you're going to buy a home. This is something that you should really consider in the homeowner's policy.
Yeah, sometimes we see where there hasn't ever been a water loss in an area before, and it just happens because of water main breaks, pipes bursting, a heavy snowfall like we had this year, or heavy rainfall like we had in April of last year. So it doesn't mean that it's just a river overflowing. It can just be streets because of the draining problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of drain issues. Other things.
Yeah. You don't just have to live in a floodplain area, but these other things do happen. Sometimes when you're financing a house, a mortgage company will require that you have it. A great resource is floodsmart.gov. It will determine if your community is something that's covered under the National Flood Insurance Program. It's a great resource to go to see if your community is involved, and if you live in a high risk or a low risk flood area.
Now, last year with a lot of the major flooding, was there some disaster relief money from the state, from FEMA, anything like that? How does that come into play if you have these major disasters with flooding? Yeah,
when a catastrophe happens like last year, FEMA does come in, and the National Flood Insurance Program does provide benefits, but most of that flood insurance or the disaster relief are actually low interest loans that are paid out to the homeowners who have had damage. So it's idea. Yeah, it's not just an open pocketbook and us writing checks to to help people out. A lot of the time it's the government giving them a low interest loan so they can fix it, but it has to be paid back.
That's interesting. Yeah. I have a ton of questions I could ask, and I know that you have a ton of answers for people. So how can they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me in my office, 2143 Wealthy Street Southeast, www.billcoleagency.com, or my phone number 616-458-4994. We'd be happy to answer any questions that people have.
So everybody really needs to go over their policy soon and check out, what does your policy say? What are you covered for?
They should meet with their insurance agent at least once a year to review, make sure they understand what it covers and what it doesn't.
Fabulous.
Thank you so much.